Hey, everybody, what is up? Happy Tuesday. We are here at the Meta-Two NXT AfterShow covering NXT that just happened literally two minutes ago. I am Katrina, host and creative in Cat We Trust, and I have with me my lovely, fabulous um, partner. We're everybody's favorite duo, Shay. How are you today?
After what I just saw, I'm a little disturbed, but I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
What were your, I guess, before we get into it, your initial thoughts of NXT this week?
I liked it. I think the match with sorry, my brain, Dragon Lee, Charlie Dempsey, and Joe Coffey was really fun. So I'm excited to talk about that, honestly.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid this week. Definitely pretty solid. But let's jump in right away. So the first matchup we had, hey George, what is up? Um, let's jump to our first matchup, which was some women's action with Fallon Henley versus Tiffany Stratton. And so this kind of started before basically a little before the referee rang the bell. It kind of started off pretty in it pretty soon. Um, I thought I have my thoughts about Fallon because she charged me up a wall. Um, but I thought they had really solid chemistry. Honestly, there were some moments I really enjoyed. Fallon kind of beat up Tiffany in the corner. Uh, and then Tiffany was able to kind of catch her in a power bomb. But then Fallon was able to reverse that into a head scissors that was really good. Um, this was again. I wish it was a little bit longer, and this is me having to praise Tiffany. It was very hard for me to do, but me praising, I would say that in regards to they just had solid chemistry. I thought this could have been a little bit longer. I felt a lot shorter. With that being said, Fallon was able to win this matchup. She got this, and I was really it was surprising, but also I do think if you're trying to make her push her in any capacity, she has to win a little bit more. And so, we'll see. It's also possible because we are, and this is me just speculating, but, we do have the Royal Rumble in a month, and it's very possible we might see Tiffany there. Because, she can hang with some of the girls already. And so this was, pretty, you know, pretty cool. However, after this, Tiffany did beat her up. She pretty much threw a table and then wiped her with a mop, which I was like, I mean, okay. Uh, and it pretty much allowed, for a matchup at New Year's Evil, where if Fallon will lose this, Tiffany, she will become Tiffany's servant. So we do have a grudge match happening on New Year's Evil. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I agree. They do have really good chemistry. Like, I've never felt like they were not clicking in the ring. They always click. I think it made sense for Fallon to win because I do feel like Tiffany is nearing the end. She's done everything she can do in NXT at this point. So it's going to be nice to see her make that transition. Fallon does need the win. She's still there. She still needs that build up. So it made sense that Fallon got the win. But I did love Fallon got her Trish Stratus moment. Got a little mop on there. I'm sorry. I was too excited. I love Tiffany and her answer. So I was all for it. Fallon needs to just leave Tiffany alone. I'm so tired of it. When she was like, I can't stand it because it's the girl who always gets everything. What's your storyline with everyone, Fallon? I'm tired. Seriously, I'm tired. Just get it. Stop starting trouble with the girls that are getting it and get it yourself. I don't know.
No, I agree with you there. Fallon definitely is always complaining. There was even a segment where Noam pretty much agreed to defend her cup against Josh, and apparently this made Fallon upset. And she stormed off, and then Josh pretty much told Brooks to stay in the back next week. But I'm just like, girl, why are you getting upset about that? She's always upset about something, it seems. So yeah, I will see, but otherwise it was solid. A solid match. I definitely think it was a solid match. Sorry guys, got a little distracted. Um, already starting, Roderick. Already starting. And so this now leads us to our next segment, which Ilja Dragunov came out, and he was quickly interrupted by Rich Holland, who say he wanted to rewrite his legacy, starting with a match with Ilja Dragunov, which I'm not like okay, whatever. And so Ilja did agree to it in a non-title match for the main event. I don't know. I was a little surprised by him being here in regards to like how do you just decide you was gonna go against Ilja Dragunov, but here we are. I do think it's a bit of an odd match, I guess, to kind of put it like this randomly. But we'll see, I guess, later on as we get to it. But I thought, if they're trying to do Butch separately and everything else, I guess this is the way to do it. With he pretty much said he kind of want to rebuild his legacy after the history of him like people having injuries, which I was like, okay. And then this also led to some stuff such as backstage, Carmelo pretty much convincing Trick to allow the NXT Championship to be a triple threat in New Year's Evil, and then Trick questioning why would Ilja Dragunov defend his title before New Year's Evil, and it seemed that he was also upset with Rich jumping the line, and Melo kind of told him, trust him, he got this. So what was your thoughts about this segment and the combo between Melo and Trick?
Ridge, if you want to listen, everyone want to rewrite, start, end they stories, all this stuff. Leave my people out of it. If you want to rewrite, do whatever with your story, do it in your own time. Well, I don't know why you bring in Dragunov into this. He's minding his business, and I think it's annoying. Ridge, go find someone else. Was there no one on the main roster you could have bothered with this? Dragunov has things to do. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they have put him in this match with Ridge to, you know what? We'll talk about it when it happens. But I know they up to something.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I was like, I mean, okay, I guess if this is how you want to redeem yourself, I don't know why you got to put Ilja Dragunov in this. But here we are. And so again, we'll get into that when we get to it later on. But this now leads us to our first men's breakout tournament match of the week, which was Dion Lennox versus Lexis King. And so I know I saw last week some of the girlies was feeling Dion last week. I definitely peeped some of the girlies was feeling him. But this was okay. This wasn't a bad match. I thought this was, pretty solid. Lexus did talk a really big game before he headed to the ring, but Dion definitely threw him around quite a bit in this matchup. This again was pretty solid. And again, I feel like I wasn't surprised by the way this turned out. Vic did say during this that Leon kind of signed in February and is debuting in December, and then there was also a moment where he would like, I guess, tease walking out with a contract, and then Lexis King pretty much walked out with the contract, but then Leon kind of grabbed him and threw him back in the ring, which I thought was really solid. But this wasn't bad. He had really good offense, I thought, but I do think he needs to work on it a little bit more. With that being said, as I was not, surprised by this, Lexus would do his coronation to win this match and move on up in the Mel's breakout tournament. And after that, Trey Bearher will come out with a steel chair after the match and kind of ran off Lexus King, and so it was decent for what we got. Again, I do think Lexus is winning this. I just feel like that was the reason why he was randomly thrown in here. Honestly, yeah, I think I feel like that's what's happening. He's gonna win this. I just truly feel that. But it was decent for what we got. And I am looking forward to see what Leon does going forward. But otherwise, decent stuff. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, initially, I thought it was a personal attack because why did my two picks somehow end up having to go against each other? I thought it was rude. I think it's unfair because we didn't even get to see a lot of Dion. That's not good. That's our Superman. When you take off his glasses, I don't really know what his gimmick is except for being beautiful, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And taking off his glasses as well. Lexus, I'm really glad he won. You know this. I am, that's my boy. So I was very happy. I got to see the entrance. He was super Delulu, like always. Like his Delulu is a different type of Delulu, but it's the type of Delulu that I love and I support. So I was just very happy I was fed. I just wish he was facing someone else instead of my other pick if he doesn't win. So if he loses, like, it's so messed up. And Trey, mind your business. Mind your business right now. Seriously.
Yeah, I definitely was a little surprised, but we kind of said that it's probably going to do these shenanigans last week with having once we were kind of thinking we didn't go against each other, and you're like, oh man. I mean, just to this comment, I feel like that would be such a waste, and I say this only because, to kind of have them already have this weird thing in NXT when they were there as a champion, and like have them come back, it's like why? Why are they in the main roster then? I feel like they shouldn't do that, but we'll see. That was just to that comment. But yeah, otherwise, we'll see. I do think Lexus is taking it though. I really do. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't. And so this now leads us to some tag action with the ladies with Thea Hall and JC Jane versus Izzy Dame and Kiana James. And so this, I did feel like Thea first seemed to have some like pep in her step. I thought this was, decent, really, really solid. And so Riley Osborne kind of led the Chase U student section cheering Thea. And, there was a moment when she had like a hot tag, which the section seemed to really be cheering her, which I thought was pretty cool. Backstage, Roxanne did watch this match, saying she was not done with either Izzy or Kiana. And this allowed Ariana to kind of taunt and tease her a bit, and then she got slapped for it. But this was I thought this was pretty well done. I thought that in particular Thea and JC did have, a nice unison together. I thought if anything, I felt like they kind of pulled off each other, which I thought was really good. And it also I felt like Kiana is seeming more and more comfortable with doing the tag team wrestling, which is cool, especially because I felt like her and Izzy had really, really good chemistry together as well as a team. And so that was solid. With that being said, I think Thea got a little too above her britches for this. Because just as, she was really feeling it and she kind of lost track of JC, Thea would catch Kiana in a Kimura lock, but Izzy pretty much gave her a big boot and would win this match for her and Kiana James. And so I do think they probably should focus a little bit more on the match in the sense she might have won. But I do think, again, while I feel like Izzy and Kiana might have a little bit more chemistry, I do think Thea and JC have solid chemistry as well. And it's really something, if they keep it up, kind of going this way. And, Izzy, she's a little bit bigger, than the other three ladies. That this is something you can kind of see her in like the future go if she keeps it up. I can definitely see her being somebody they can use in regards to using maybe for like height and strength. I'm always for that height, use it. But otherwise it was solid for what we got. And I was just like, yeah, you gotta kind of focus on what you need to focus on and get it together. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, no, it was fun, and I feel like the right people won. Like, I'm a big fan of Izzy. Like, Izzy Jane, like, something about her is just her stature. Like, it's for me. I can't explain why, but it's for me. The way she speaks, the way she acts, the way she carries herself, it's for me. And I've already stated my position on Kiana. I love Kiana. So I was like, they better win, because obviously I'm not like this huge JC fan. I think she's great, but these are my girls. And Thea, she be getting on my nerves with that immaturity stuff. And again, the immaturity stuff plagued her yet again in another match. She gonna find a way to blame Andre. I'm sure she will. So I'm just glad that Izzy and Kiana won, honestly. And I'm just excited to see where this goes. Kiana is just a star to me. Like, I'm obsessed. I think she has the full package in my eyes. Like, fantastic woman.
Yeah, even though she'd be doing shenanigans, because I didn't like her mess with Roxanne, but I am a Kiana James fan as well. I will say I have to see more of Izzy as well in regards to have like really solid, but I do like what I saw with her and Kiana, and so we'll see. After that, Eddie did challenge Dijak to her NXT Underground match next week, which Dijak did agree. And so I know this match better be where Eddie better win. Otherwise, I don't know who something can flip. I'm gonna knock everything over because stop playing games. Stop playing games. I need my guy to win. It's what he deserves. What were your thoughts about we're getting another NXT Underground match?
I mean, I'm not like a super fan of these type of match, that type of like format of match, but I'm sure they'll make it fun. They both are really good wrestlers. And again, as you said, Eddie, as long as Eddie comes out on top, I have no complaints, because I'm tired of this. Dijak has been playing with Eddie for too long. I don't like it. It's not right. It's very, very, it's not right. So we got to get that in order. And also remember, I didn't talk about the Roxanne slap. Roxanne, girl, she is losing it, because I feel like Ariana's approach was not even that aggressive to be slapped. Like, I feel like she was just giving nice friend-to-friend advice. She wasn't even I mean, I know she's taller than her. Maybe she felt like she was, but it wasn't like that, Roxanne. She was just giving you nice advice. Ariana is such a kind woman. And all the girls in the locker room clapping, so happy. That lady has not done nothing to y'all but try and be positive with y'all. And that's exactly, you know what? We're going to talk about when it happened. I'm with you, Ariana. We good.
Yeah, no, I don't know if she got slapped, but I know Ariana was definitely trying to a little bit. She definitely was, but I don't know if she should have gotten slapped for it necessarily. But it's Roxanne's probably just tired of the shenanigans. I get it. I understand. And so we're now moving into the North American Championship matchup with Charlie Dempsey versus Joe Coffey versus champion Dragon Lee. And so I thought, this was pretty solid. This started off with after Dallas kind of got involved, they got thrown out of ringside, as they should have, because they was bothering Dragon Lee. And I was like, all right, y'all gotta chill, doing too much shenanigans. Joe did do a glass style send off to Dragon Lee into Charlie Dempsey in the corner, which I thought was really cool. And then Dragon would respond with a corner double foot stomp and a running knee, which I thought was really solid. I thought this was probably like the best match of the night to me. I thought, you know, Dragon Lee has really been putting on. We've said before we were both fans of Dragon Lee, but I feel like he's really been trying to make sure he proves himself as the North American champion. And I'm like, all right. And so this, was, again, really, really, really solid stuff. I thought, again, this was really, really well done. Dragon would do the Operation Dragon to Charlie to retain his title. However, after that, he was attacked. And Joaquin Wild and Cruz del Toro ran in LWO to make the save. I thought, again, Dragon Lee really did his thing in here. I thought it also worked really well with Joe and Charlie Dempsey. I thought just really, really well done stuff. And I do think, if anything, we may even see Joe in particular, in my opinion, and Dragon Lee, because I thought they had really good chemistry, even more so than with Charlie, arriving in this match. I felt like they had a lot of chemistry. I also think it's probably possible we're going to probably get Dragon Lee and LWO. We just don't everybody in there. So, otherwise, I thought this was a really, really solid match. I thought Dragon Lee really did his thing. And, there were the other LWO members, and maybe them being NXT will kind of give them some time to also shine if they're together with Dragon Lee, and maybe put some real stock behind Dragon Lee and having somebody behind them. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
I have to agree. This was my favorite match of the night as well. Like, I just think they were just locked in. And I've said, I feel like I'm like a broken record, but I love triple threat matches. It just leaves things so like open-ended. Like, it could go crazy. And you saw that in this match. I did like the chemistry between Joe and Dragon Lee, but I did love Charlie Dempsey when he did the fall away slam into a bridge. Every time he does that, like, I literally get banished into the shadow realm, like, and I have to fight my way back. Like, that's how amazing it is. Like, he just does it so well that it's literally just like, and I will keep singing, they need to start really backing Charlie Dempsey. He's so good in the ring, but he just needs like that hit storyline, that hit, like, they need to listen, because I'm tired. I've been asking for too long. They need to figure it out. But I'm happy Dragon won. I think that him having matches every week, well, I don't think he should, obviously. You got to protect your body. But him doing it, like, so far is like, I mean, we're being fed. He's so good in the ring. Like, I'm so happy. I'm appreciative of him. And, obviously him doing this for Wesley in his honor. I love it. He's just putting on stuff. And I guess he has, like, this contract with the LWO from the main roster now. So if anyone's attacking him, they popping up. They in the area. I'll be scared. I'm like, oh my goodness, they coming to fight. I don't even do nothing. But yeah, I was happy with this match. Like, definitely favorite match of the night. I'm excited to see what next week holds.
I am definitely with you on there. I'm definitely excited for next week as well. There's also a segment with Andre, Trace, and Scripps. Kind of agreeing to have a match next week where Andre can have the opportunity to win his money or make his money back to pay the family. If they lost, however, if he loses, he would also lose the money, and OTM would get a title shot, which I was like, I mean, okay, that's what we're getting. And so, what were your thoughts on this segment?
I hate to see my boy down bad like this. I really do. But you know what? No one else is helping. Everyone just standing around waiting for this ship to sink. Somebody help. Duke don't want to sell his goofy old trophy. So you want to have a trophy from a university that went under, that went bankrupt. Wouldn't you want to help that said university so that when people ask you, where'd you get this trophy from? Oh, Chase University. Isn't that the university that went under for bankruptcy? Is that what you want to be attached to your trophy? Duke, you need to help. Because I know you got money. We know where you started, Mr. Poker Player. I know you got money stashed. And you need to be giving some to Andre and stop being cheap for that stupid old trophy. And Thea ain't helping. JC ain't helping. Everybody just want to stand around and complain. I can't stand that. You just want to stand around and complain, but you're not giving me options. Say, hey, what about this? Every time Andre gives an idea, face. So what is your idea? You don't have one. All you have is complaints. Andre, I understand. Get on Twitch. I got my biddies ready. I will be giving you some more biddies. I'm helping chase you. One biddy at a time.
I kind of agree with you there. I do think Duke probably could help a little bit more. That whole Timo comment is great, Jeffrey. I do think he definitely could be helping more, but here we are. I don't know, George. Good question. I don't know. When you find out, let me know. Okay. Definitely could be more hopeful, but I don't know. I feel like Andre probably shouldn't have put himself in a situation like this also, because I feel like they're gonna lose. I feel like they're not gonna go this easy, so I feel like he's gonna lose, and that's just like here we are doing more shenanigans. And so this now leads us to our next breakout tournament match with Tavion Heights and Lucia Crusifino. And so early on, Lucia did take some cheap shots at Tavion's legs. But Tavion kept on going, which, I thought was pretty solid. I do think, there was some, stuff happening in the audience, and I know I'm going to be piped in, that I was like, I don't know. I don't know. This seems a bit much. This, however, seemed to be more of a squash match. Sadly, Lucia did get a couple of good stuff in the beginning, but Lucia will pick up the win doing a running belly to belly, which I thought was really solid. And while we haven't seen Tavion too much before this, I do think that him having like an actual wrestling background, he definitely had some good suplexes. With his amateur wrestling stuff, that we can see where he's gonna go for. And I do think, since it looks like he's probably taking on Uba Femi next week, most likely, that could probably be a really solid match. Before we got it was alright. I do think it shouldn't have been a squash, but it definitely was. But what were your thoughts on the segment?
Mind you, that was my fourth pick. So you obviously see I'm going through a lot right now, because every single one of my picks is being picked off. I have one left. Like, I'm in the trenches, and it's not right, because they're putting my people against each other. And Tavion is basically like the male version of Thea. Like, super hyper. Is that his like character? A super hyper person? Did he drink a lot of Red Bull before he came out? Is that what his gimmick is? I don't know. I just know he's really hyper. And he took out my fourth pick. And then my last two picks are going against each other next week. So what am I supposed to do? This is not fair. All these tournaments are not for me. I'm getting screwed in the Continental. I'm getting screwed in the Breakout. When do I win? Carmelo, you're my last hope. You need to win the tournament on SmackDown. You're my last hope. Oh, and Lexus, of course.
Yeah, I definitely they're doing it dirty this time with the matchups. Well, I'm like, all right, guys, okay. But yeah, otherwise, we'll see what we're gonna get next week. But definitely, I have been noticing. I'm like, all right, I was hoping it'll be more of a switch it up. We would never bring back Goldberg. Let that be clear. And so we now get our next matchup with Tatum Paxley versus Nikita Lyons. And so You already know how I feel, about these kind of matches with her particular. And so in the locker room, Nikita warned Lyra that, after she's done with Blair, she wants an NXT Women's Championship. And I'm like, girl, please, go swear. And Nikita pretty much had a lot of strikes. I think at one point causing Tatum to bleed from her nose, which I'm like, but I hate it, and I feel like maybe this is because she. I mean, I know you guys are like Nikita's fans and all. I know, I get it, but ma'am, it's just something about her wrestling just drives me up a wall, and this really showed. Again, I think last week when we had a tag match, it didn't show us badly, but ma'am is looking rusty, and while I know there's ring rust, and I understand. With that being said, I do think it's because she just doesn't wrestle well, and this is why she has to regress. So she did have kicks and punches, and she did a roundhouse kick, and obviously the split leg drop to win. And this was again a really quick match. But I'm just like, be real. If you're supposed to make Tatum seem like a threat, having Nikita beat her up like this is like that defeats the purpose. You have to have somebody who's like crazy. If her character is like a bit crazy, then you need to make sure she's like somebody who's a sleeper agent. So do not have her lose this quickly, like, because now it's like, who's going to be scared of her then? If she's losing like this, is this something that we might have to think Lyra needs to worry about in the future? I don't think so. And also Nikita thinking she just goes to the top of the mountain, getting a title shot after Blair. It's like, ma'am, what did you do to get a title shot? You better calm on down, and you beat up Blair fine if you need to do that because of the situation. I get that. But outside of that, and see, just his comment about Victoria, what in these scenarios, the women you mentioned, they could all wrestle. All of them. Victoria wrestled. Mickey wrestled. So you get the crazy people. God, I can't be having them lose all crazily like this. It's insane. But I mean, I guess I do not think she needs to be the one to beat Lyra. That would probably upset me. I'm not gonna lie. If Nikita, I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, because clearly you're playing shenanigans. Let's not do that. I think she needs something. I know you. As I said, I feel like her matches are never quick. I'm just saying. If you're supposed to be having to make her like a crazy or something, she needs to be a sleeper agent. I feel. Even if you think she should have won, I don't think she should have squashed. That's what the point I'm making. I don't think Tatum should have been squashed in this. I make Tatum like, how scary can she be if she's getting squashed by somebody who was gone for months and clearly has ring rust? And that's my issue with that. I know you guys like Nikita, but you're gonna be able to call a spade, guys. And in this spade, Nikita is clearly rusty, and she should not have beat Tatum so quickly. If you're gonna beat her, it should. I just feel like it makes Tatum seem not as, as a threat that I'm thinking they're gonna try to do at some point with the whole her and Lyra thing happening. Not much. Don't listen. Don't be lying. It's not a lot of. She didn't put a lot of. It was not a lot of offense. And I feel like if you're really trying to really put some which behind this gimmick of her being a little bit insane, then you got to make her a bit more. It needs to be a little bit harder for her to lose. I feel personally. But what were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I felt like it was a fun little short match. It wasn't meant to be long. I don't feel like. I kind of do agree with you, George. Yeah, because in the beginning I was a little bit confused because I thought that when the match happened that Nikita was going to beat her much faster and that she wasn't going to get any offense. So I wasn't really a fan of it. But watching for the first half, I was like, because it seemed like she was just beating on Nikita, stomping on her hands, had Nikita screaming, laid out for a good little minute. I was like, I didn't expect this. But I feel like right now Tatum's character is not meant to be in-ring wise a scare. What I got from her is she's more of a character right now. That's her main focus. And she kind of gave me more of kind of like Nikki Cross nuisance vibes. Like the winning loss stuff was not really a factor for her at this point. Like, she's more so just a character and her love for Lyra. That's like the main priority right now. And I do like the story. Because again, I feel like Lyra kind of needs that. Like, she's not the biggest character on NXT, and so she needs something to balance out. She's a fantastic wrestler. Can't take that from her, but character-wise, I don't get a lot from her. So giving her this, intricate storyline with this unhinged woman, I think kind of is really fun. And I'm liking it so far. Even with her getting busted open, I feel like that added to her. Like, her sitting there looking crazy, sniffing the feather, not even minding the blood gushing out of her nose. That got to me. I was like, oh, I love it. Like, so I'm very intrigued and I'm invested in Tatum. And Nikita, I knew she was going to win. She is definitely, I can agree. I do see a lot of rust. You could see a lot of her questioning before doing moves, stopping short and looking around to figure out, where. Like, it was a lot of that. But I do see, she did some move where she kind of like, I don't think I've ever seen it. If someone else has seen it, that's cool. But I have never seen someone jump up in midair, change, and lay their ass on someone's face. I've seen them just lay their ass straight on someone's face, sure, like a regular stink face. I never seen it like, all the extra stuff. And I thought that was cute for her to add on, because it felt like she was thinking about it, something she thought about. And I got to give 10s when I feel like someone's at least thinking about it. So, I mean, I'm giving her that time to kind of get it together. Same way with Ariana, because I feel like, she was a little bit rusty as well in her first few matches. So I'm just giving Nikita some grace. I'm going to see what happens. But I'm really into the Tatum character, like really heavy right now. Like, I'm just loving even the way she moves. Like, she is so locked in. That's a big thing for me. When I see someone is so invested in their character down to the smallest thing, down to how you move your pinky. Inject that into my veins. I love it.
Yeah. To this comment, Jeffrey, same. That's exactly what it is. I'm like, I guess. See, yeah, y'all just denial. Where was she before? Y'all gonna have to find me a match. Find me a match where it wasn't a quick match, because when I tend to put people, as we have learned with certain people, I like to make excuses for it, but usually when people have quick matches like that, it's because they're not that good. And so I'm not really sure where she needs to get back to if she never got there. But okay. I do think Tatum's character is good. I just felt like even with the little, it was not like it was offense, but it wasn't. And I feel like that's my thing, is like having her just do her little roundhouse, which I still think is a bit about it. I don't know. I'm just not on Nikita. I just feel like she does not wrestle well, and I feel like that's why her matches usually aren't that long, even before she got injured. The rust is just, I think, really showing it more now. But I always just wasn't a fan. I feel like you gotta give me something. I listen. I did. To be fair, I did say this, that unless she does something where I'm like, surprise, okay, excuse me, it'll always be some hate, because you guys are ignoring, because she's thick, as you like to say. You ignore things. You like to ignore when women or when wrestlers do certain things if they're attractive. Okay, you can't be a Lulu fan. Okay, gotta be a fan who'll be like, yes, but also this is what it is. And so, but yeah, I didn't say all that, but here we are. I say all the time I'll be a heel. I know this. I know. I definitely would. Quick.
I'm literally a tweener. What are you talking about? I'm a tweener.
I feel like depending, I could be a tweener also, but I feel like I lean more towards a heel because I just don't do shenanigans, and so I'd be quick to like get real. So this now leads us to some tag action between Gallus, who's accompanied by Joe Coffey, versus Hank and Tank, and so this match is okay. I thought for some reason that Joe seemed a bit nervous when he came out. And I was like, I don't know, it's because, you know, probably because Joe kind of Gacy attacked him, and so Joe was watching this. Uh, and during this, Tank really hyped up Tank, and Booker T was asking for Tank to be disqualified, which I really wasn't sure why. I mean, okay, Booker T, what did he do to you? And so I do think that they're pretty Hank and Tank. I don't know how you feel about Hank and Tank, Shay, but I think for what you know, what this dynamic is without any real like storylines, I do think they move pretty well, and I do think they have some powerhouses, but they just have to find I don't know some. I feel like they gotta just find their footing in some way. With that being said, this match will end with Gallus pretty much doing a lot, and they would do the Gallus Gate to win this matchup, and so the match, was over, not too long after that. But Hank and Tate definitely got their moments, and again, I do think they moved very well. And that's something I'm surprised. I'm gonna say I'm surprised that you're off the train. But we'll see what happens. I do think if anything, this was meant for Gallus to kind of keep the momentum as a group, and that's why they won it. But I do think that they do something with Hank and Take. I don't know what it is. That something needs to happen though for them to kind of figure out more footing, because I feel like they don't really know what's happening with them. It's like they're a team, and we know they're a team, but like you just kind of have to see what's happening with them. But otherwise, it's okay match. Uh, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I forgot who Hank had a match against. I think it was like Dijak or someone, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give you your 10s because you ate that. Yeah, like he definitely is moving better in the ring, because at first I was just like, get out my face, security man, please. I don't want to see it. Tank, I do like Tank. Like, you know what they remind me of? Not because of like the in-ring, but like the dynamic. Back then, I believe it was American Alpha. You had oh god, I'm blanking on his name. Please, Kurt Angle's son. That's his son. I don't care. He was like, he had the full look, all that about him, tall, but his character was kind of weak, and the personality wasn't all the way there at that time. I say at that time. So they put him with Chad Gable, who had all that. That is what I see in Hank and Tank. Tank is clearly the Chad Gable of this. He is serving, giving all the personality, all the energy. And Hank is hanging on by a thread. He's trying his best. He's giving what he can. But it's still not all the way connecting with me. Like, it's just a little dry for me. So I'm going to need him to put some water on it. Put some water on it. That's all I need. I need you to put water on it because it's a little dry right now, Hank. And Tank, his back is hurting. His back is hurting from carrying. It really is. That's my issue with Hank. I just need him to get a little bit more personality. Like, it's kind of like, I just need a little bit more. But in ring, I see it. I'm rocking with it. I see it. I'm not going to be like, they can't wrestle. That is a lie. That's an outright lie. Joe, I really feel like you're being attacked. I had to move. I know I pivoted. I really feel like Joe is being attacked because of the name of Joe. Literally. Joe does not like a lot of Joes. I need to make a list of all the Joes, and I'm going to send this list to a higher up and tell them they need to put security on these people, because I feel like he's going after all the Joes. That's what I think. I have no reason to believe this, except for my Delulu. I think this is what Joe Coffey's... I'm sorry, Joe Coffey. Jesus! It's too many Joes! See, this is why Joe Gacy wants them gone! Joe Gacy is eliminating the Joes. That's exactly what's happening.
I can see that reasoning. I definitely can. I definitely see what you did there, my guy. I definitely do. But yeah. we'll see. In regards, I'm looking forward to your list of the Jews. When you get there, no rush when you get there. After there was a segment where Cora took her locker room spot from Carmen Petrovic and kind of threw her things out of the way, and I'm like, no, Cora, like crazy stuff. What were your thoughts on that another mean girl, because Cora is a mean girl, segment?
Cora girl, period. Because you know what, Carmen, I'm still mad at you for what you did to Ariana because you came at her for no reason. So get your stuff. Get to stepping. You thought I was going to be like, oh my God, Carmen. No! I didn't forget. That's karma. Literally. You see how that works? Mind your business next time. Now your stuff is on the floor. And you got to fight Cora. And I really don't think you're going to win that fight. So you just got to find another locker.
I mean, I do think Carmen was definitely started with Ariana, and so yeah. But I also just don't like Mean Girls vibes. But also Carmen definitely kind of semi deserved. So it was like half and half for me. To answer this about Tiffany, maybe Raw. Maybe. And so this now leads us to the main event, which was Rich Holland versus Ilja Dragunov. And so I thought this was a nice back and forth. It did seem at one point Ridge hesitated just a tad. When he did his beat to Burham, the things that they do with Sheamus and Butch. And I do think this allowed Ilja Dragunov to fight back and to wind up pinning a DDT. I also liked that there was Ilja Dragunov was able to catch him in an H-bomb and an integrity. I thought it was really good, but then Rich would do like a rolling big boot. And so I don't know, because it's like this was a really solid match. It was definitely solid. I do think they both had like good pacing and stuff. But with that being said, this match will end because Ridge would do his brainbuster, and it would leave Ilja Dragunov unable to continue, and then he had to be taken out on the stretcher. And so I don't know how I feel about, well, one, we kind of know, based off people posting stuff on Twitter, that it seems Ilja Dragunov is alright. And while that makes me feel a little bit better, because I was highly upset when I first saw it. I was like, oh yeah, playing games with my guy? Don't do that. And I didn't like that. And so I was kind of glad that, he's not actually hurt and it's for a purpose. But I don't know how I feel about them after Rich saying he kind of wants to kind of redeem himself. His first match, they decide, let's have him hurt Ilja Dragunov. Why? I'm kind of questioning that. Like, what would be the purpose if he's really, like, people send this man hate mail still in hate tweets because of the whole thing with Big E. And so I don't know how I feel necessarily, like, if this is a wise thing to kind of do this story. Yeah, exactly. Knowing that. And then so to have him say he want to redeem himself and then he supposedly injures Ilja Dragunov, you're like, really, guys? I don't know how I feel about this, about him doing that. And so the match itself was solid, but I don't really like the ending. I was not a fan of the ending. And so yeah, I feel really iffy about them making this into another thing when it was literally, already, I don't know what that, sorry guys. I don't know. I felt like there was just other ways to go about doing this, and that wasn't it. But it looked like he was really sad while he got rolled out, and I'm like, well, it better been, because like I was ready. My treats was ready. But also, I feel like you guys could have did a different way with this than have him be injured. But here we are. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
So yeah, I thought the match was fun for sure. I didn't like the ending because why? My thought process is I feel like they did that on purpose to give this backup plan, and I'm gonna be really upset if this is true, to weaken Dragunov, say, oh, he has this really big injury and it could all these things. So when he has his match with Trick, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he was really hurt. So, it's believable. Trick is gonna win, and then Trick wins. That is gonna annoy me to the depths of hell if that is the case. If they're trying to find a way to kind of weaken Dragunov to make it more believable if Trick beats him at New Year's Evil. I literally may ascend into the next level. Like, I can't even tell you what the level will be, but I literally, I'm worried. This is why I was like, I don't like this, because I feel like I know what y'all up to. I don't like that. So hopefully I'm very wrong, because listen, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I get it. Trick is very popular, but I still don't believe that he could beat Dragunov. I'm so sorry. Like, we have to all bring realism to the table right now. Seriously. No. And I guess this is the way, to weaken him. I don't know, because I really don't understand. It's so random to randomly have Ridge be like, I want to restart my journey, because I guess they're kind of doing a restart on both Butch and Ridge. Hopefully they get that man back his name. Stop calling him Butch. So I guess his restart is this. But who restarts and just automatically can just be like, give me a title match? Hello? Why would you fight anyone? Why does he need to fight Dragunov? That is why I feel like there is some ulterior motive behind this all being set up. And I'm not going for it. Not with Dragunov. You can do that with somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. Not Dragunov. I don't like it. So we will see. But I'm very not feeling this. Carmelo, you better do your big one at New Year's Evil. Do your big one, and you make sure that man do not leave New Year's Evil with that title. You make sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would be kind of annoyed by that as well. So let's hope that's not what's happening. I'm gonna be so upset. Like, y'all gonna have me cause a whole scene. I don't want that. I just, y'all don't want that for me. You want me to be nice and not knock everything over, because that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, that is how NXT ended, guys. Sorry it seemed a little bit quicker, but your girlie is slightly not doing well. Sinus infection, guys. Lucky sucks. But thank you as always for joining us, as you always do on NXT recapping. Shay, tell the people what you got going on and where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find me at Shay Sawyer was here on Instagram. You can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on Twitter, and nothing else. And then you can find me on Twitch at Shay Sawyer as well. We're having a little bit of internet issues right now, so I haven't been able to have long streams, but we will be getting back soon. This Thursday, it'll be the UPR Awards. I will be on there. I don't know what award I'm doing, so I can't tell you where I will be, but I will be there if you want to be there. And you can also catch a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast. It just dropped on Monday, which was yesterday, Monday. That was yesterday. Yeah, I really had a good time with it. This was a really fun episode, and it's episode 50. Guys, we're like the halfway mark of almost 100 episodes. Really exciting. So definitely check it out. And let us know what's going on with you, Queen. Come on, let's know
that. You guys can find me on In Cat We Trust, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. I will be having a new interview before the end of the year that will be happening. It should be pretty awesome. I am supposed to, because I did see the new Godzilla movie, which I truly, truly, truly enjoyed. Probably my favorite Godzilla movie is saying a lot, because I'm not a Godzilla fan at all, to be fair. and so I will be reviewing it because I actually really enjoyed it. Got me a little bit worry-eyed if you've seen it. So, and I did promise I'm gonna try to game more. I just been feeling it's been a week, and I've been struggling, guys. But also, yeah. See, I'll be getting the Dead by Daylight soon. I played a little bit more.
We gotta
Not
do
enough.
a duo stream, DVD.
We do. To be fair, my daughter did her PlayStation Wrapped. She had all these hours. Then it was me who had no Wrapped because I didn't even play 10 hours this year. And it tells you the level of how I do not game. And so I can do this together. But yes, I'm going to try to do more of that, guys, before the end of the year. But that's pretty much what's happening on my end. As always, guys, we truly, see, you got me in the beginning. You said some good stuff. You really did, and then you had to ruin it with the other half of that. Talk about Cody winning. That'll be a nightmare. Okay, I will wake up sleep deprived. Okay, my sleep will not be well if that's what I dream about. Okay, I am tired though. I am dealing with a sinus infection, and so that's why my voice sounds a little funny as well. But as always, even with the shenanigans that was that last comment, I appreciate you guys. And I love you guys. See, you guys. Yeah. See, I'm trying. I'm trying to end on a solid note. And now you're talking about dreaming of Goldberg as well. So you just want me to just not wake up, is what I'm hearing. Okay, what you're saying is like that's just the end. Is that what we're doing, guys? But we love you guys as always. We appreciate you guys. There will not be an NXT episode, I don't think, next week because you will be, but I'm also gonna be away with family. And so there will not be an episode unless they have two new hosts popping in for us to cover, but it shouldn't be. I probably need to confirm that. But we most likely will not be on next week just because, Christmas week. But as always, we love you guys and we will catch you guys on the next episode, possibly in 2 weeks, which will be the new year if I'm not mistaken. So, but have an awesome rest of your